Torah Garden, speaking the absolute truth. Torah Nation.
Shalom, 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 Yasharal and Yahuda. Hear the word of Yahuwah. The whore is falling. This wretched whore is falling. This diabolical snake is falling. This dragon, this beast, this daughter of Babylon is falling. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. Prepare yourself to exit stage right. Listening to none other than the Ak, the prophet of Yahuwah, Hezekiah. Song is entitled Freedom's Win 1.5. I don't own the rights to this music. You must be born again. The message isn't changed. You must be born again. You must receive the witness. You must be sealed. Abba Yahuwah, in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, I give you praise. Abba Yahuwah, I'm praying right now in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach that you would take the reins of my lips and the reins of my tongue and reign. Abba, you said through Yahushua HaMashiach that from my belly would flow rivers of living water. Of this you spake of the Ruach Qodesh. Abba Yahuwah, I've received the witness, the water, the blood, and the Ruach Qodesh. And now I'm praying in Emunah that your word would come forth from me in your Ruach, and that it would minister life and peace to those that you have chosen. Abba, I'm praying that no one is turned out of the way. No one stumbles. No one comes up lame. Abba Yahuwah, I'm praying right now in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach that your word will have free course. I exercise this authority. You've given me the keys to the Shamayim. And you told me that whatever I bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. And whatever I loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. I bind every Ruach, every evil Ruach, every Ruach of distraction, perversion, every familiar Ruach that has set itself against this witness, this word that I'm sending forth. I bind you in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. I execute my authority over you. You will not hinder, you will not stop, you will not prevent this word from going forth. I command you to cease in your maneuvers, in your activity. And Yahuwah, I'm believing in the Shamayim that you are honoring this and causing it to come to pass. Yahuwah, that your word would be loosed in the hearts of men and women. That your word would be loosed in the hearts of men and women. My prayer, that there would be nothing to stop those that you have chosen from receiving this word. Yahuwah, this is your word. This is your word, Yahuwah. Now I pray, Abba Yahuwah, in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, that the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart will be acceptable in thy sight. Yahuwah, my strength and my redeemer. We made a deal. The nation of Yasharal has made a deal with Yahuwah, an everlasting covenant, and Yahuwah is not forgetful of his covenant. Yahuwah is not forgetful of the covenant that he cut with Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. And he has provided Yeshua to those that are of the nation of Yasharal and Yehuda. He has provided Yeshua a method of returning back to right relationship with him. And that method is the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach. That method is the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach. That method is the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach, and you must receive this witness in Emunah in order to be born of Yahuwah, in order to have his seed deposited in you. You must be born again. You mushy. There's no way around this. There's no escaping this. There's no getting away from this. You must be born again of the water and of the Ruach Qodesh. Listen. Yahuwah has called us to be lights from the time that he chose Jacob. He chose Jacob to keep his Shabbat. He chose Jacob to be his bearers of light. He has chose Jacob and demonstrated his power and his greatness, going before them, subduing their enemies. Yahuwah has placed an anointing and a light in the midst of the leaders of our forefathers to point the way. And now in these last days, he has given us the Ruach, the earnest of the inheritance. He has put in us his Ruach, those who will receive the witness, the water, the blood, and the Ruach HaKodesh. We are to be the lights of the world. We are the bearers of light, right? We are the bearers of light. We are the bearers of light. See, we have this treasure. We have this treasure. We have this treasure. Right? What is this treasure? Right? Right. What is this treasure? Right? Right? Shaul, right, in the letter written to the assemblies at Corinthians, right? Matter of fact, let's do this. Let's understand. Let's look at this treasure. Shaul says, do I commend ourselves, 2 Corinthians 3:1, or need we, as some other epistles of condemnation, commendation to you, or letter of condemnation from us? Do we need a letter to present to you? Because, there was a point in which the church in Jerusalem would give letters, right, to Shaul or send them before so that he would have this letter validating his authenticity or validating what he was preaching, right? Shaul said, now listen, I've ministered to you, right? I've demonstrated Yahuwah's power in the midst of you, right? I've been a reflection, right, of this witness to you. He says, do I need letters? Do I need something that you need to have in order to validate the Ruach of Yahuwah, the witness of Yahuwah, the Torah of Yahuwah, everything that I've taught you in this witness? He says, ye are my epistles. Right? You are the byproduct of this witness of Yahushua Mashiach, which I preached to you. This witness, which brings light. This witness of born again of the water and of the Ruach HaKodesh, this witness. For you who have received this witness, this word, this Besorah, this Torah, this life-changing word of the Ruach HaKodesh. You are my epistles. You've written on our hearts, right? Known and read of men. Yes. Because you're a reflection My wife said something to me, right? And I was telling her about Aki Yaakov Ben Zion, Gaal. And she said, you know what, honey? She said, when I listen to you and I listen to him, you sound alike. I mean, sometimes I don't see the distinction between the two of you. I mean, it's almost like it's you. And I said, the witness of Yahusha, the word, the Besorah, the Torah of truth, which he receives, has come alive in him. Now he walked in Torah before, but there's this baptism, there's this Ruach that I had the privilege of introducing and bringing to him. He's written and read of men. Right? He is. Ye are our epistles. He is my epistle. He is Yahushua Mashiach first and foremost, but I have had the privilege, right, of contributing to his overall development in this witness. And not just his, but others, right? I mean, he's like that Timothy to me. For as much as ye are manifestly declared to be the epistles of Mashiach, ministered by us, written not with ink, but in the Ruach Qodesh of Yahuwah. This word is in you. The evidence of what you are is of the Ruach of Yahuwah. You, by demonstration, have borne the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach in your body. And it has matriculated over into this outward expression of the word of Yahuwah by the Ruach HaKodesh, which is similar almost exactly to the letter as me. But see, it has your character. It has you, your reflection. But it's the Ruach HaKodesh of Elohiym. And it's not that which was written in tablets of stone. Right, see. Listen. Yahuwah ain't doing it. He's not taking you by the hand. He's not bringing you back to a Torah. Tablets of stone. There's a return to the Torah, but you can't get to the Torah until you provide a sacrifice. You can't be restored until you come into right relationship. You can't even receive understanding of the Torah without the witness. Got to be born again. It's not about tablets of stone. See, you have to become a bearer of the light. And in being a bearer of the light, you become a written epistle. Being a bearer of the light, you become a living epistle that is written and read of men. Can't be light without the Ruach Qodesh of you. You can't be a witness without being born again. You are not a light until you are born of the water and of the Ruach HaKodesh. You ain't gonna hear from you. You ain't gonna give you a word. He's not going to speak to you. He's going to speak to you through me, who has the Ruach HaKodesh, and if you listen, you will be born again. You will have this word written on your hearts because you will recognize that it's in the witness. See, this light, it's not for everybody. This light is not for everybody. This light is not for everybody. Listen, this light is for those who have emunah in the witness of Mashiach. This light, this excellency of glory, it's not for everybody. This witness are for the called out, those that you was chosen. This light ain't for everybody. You must understand that you must be born again. You got to be born again. You got to be born again. Shaul says in that third verse, for as much as ye are manifestly declared, it is an evident thing. It's evident. Because, you know, the witness of Yahuwah has performed a change in you. Right? For as much as ye are manifestly declared to be the epistles, you are Mashiachs. See, they can tell you have been with a Mashiach, right? Or they can tell you are messianics, right? Because you bear in you the evidence. Yeah, see, because you are a true light bearer. You understand the importance of this treasure. Light bearers. You understand the excellency of the power. You understand the driving nature of the exousia and the dynamos that makes you supernatural on the earth. See, crossed over. You are Mashiachs. He says, for as much as you are manifestly declared to be the epistle of a Mashiach. And it came as a result of our intervention. Some of you even physically know my name. Some of you who have witnessed and listened to these, I don't know you. But the word has made a difference. It's manifested in you. You know that there is something that's in this, that's truth. It's manifested. And you're declared to be a witness. Some of you, this has compelled you to be born again of the water and of the Ruach Qodesh, because you understand that there is something that has to happen in you. He says, written not with ink, but with the Ruach of the living Yahuwah. See, the Ruach Qodesh of Yahuwah is what gives you life. The Ruach Qodesh of Yahuwah is what gives you life. See, the Ruach Qodesh of Yahuwah gives you the L kind of life. The Ruach HaKodesh gives you the Elohiym kind of life. Because you have his seed. It's not written in tablets of stone. Because he ain't doing it no more. He ain't taking you by the hand. He ain't leading you into Mitzrayim. He ain't bringing you into no wilderness. He ain't weeding you out. The weeder is the witness. And if you receive the witness of Yahushua Mashiach and continue to the end, endure to the end, you are in his kingdom. You are in his kingdom if you are born again of the water and the Ruach HaKodesh. That's what makes you his. The witness is the weeder. Yahushua Mashiach is the weeder. It's this witness, being obedient to this witness. Yahushua came to preach this witness to Jerusalem, to his people, and his people were to carry it out to the other tribes and to the nations. But it became dark because Satan fell. He was given the boot. He couldn't go back up into there no more. He couldn't do like he did. He was mad. Yahushua said it's gonna become dark. I got to work while this day. I got to preach this witness in these 3 years so that you can have what you need in receiving the witness, the Ruach HaKodesh, to be the witnesses to the nation of Yasharal, to gather all those that I have chosen from amongst them, and then to go to the other nations, to go to those who I have chosen amongst them. I'm into remnants. My internet been acting up there. Right. Matter of fact, I do it this way. Yeah, I do it this way. Okay, so, right. So, we have Yahusha. You understand this? This power, this excellency of glory, this light. He says in 2 Corinthians 3:3, for as much as it was manifestly declared to be an epistle of Mashiach ministered by us. Right? So I was talking about how this witness preached to the Corinthians, right? Brought manifested change. Right? Right? And it was not written with ink, right? But in the Ruach of the living Yahuwah, right? And not on tablets of stone, but on fleshly tablets of the heart. Right? Right? So listen. There came a time, right, when Yahuwah demonstrated to key apostles that it was no longer the tables of stone. Mark the 9th chapter. And he said unto them, verily, verily, I say unto you, there be some of them that stand here which shall not taste death till they see the kingdom. Listen. Stay with it, right? Until they see the kingdom of the Lord come with power. Somebody amongst you 12 are going to bear witness to the transference from the tables of stone to the fleshly tables of the heart. After 6 days, right? The thought continues. After 6 days, Yahusha taketh him Peter, James, and YOCHANON. Peter, CEPHER, Yaakov, and YOCHANON, right? And leadeth them up into a high mountain, apart to the high mountain, right? Apart by themselves, and was transfigured before them. So here's the picture. Yahusha goes up in the mountain to pray. He has with him the sum 3 that will not taste death, right? Until they see the kingdom come, right? Till they see the kingdom come, right? So, what we have is, right, 6 days later, Yahusha take it with him Peter, James, CEPHER, Yaakov, and YOCHANON, and lead them up to the mountain to pray, and he was transfigured before them. No, what does that look like? his raiment became shiny. His raiment all of a sudden became shiny. And exceeding white as snow, so as no fuller's soap on earth can whiten. So all of a sudden, Yahusha, right, the son of Elohiym, who was filled with the Ruach Qodesh without measure, suddenly became to radiate from the inside out. See, you got to be born again to get this light. See, you got to be born again to see the kingdom. You got to be born again to enter into the kingdom. Listen, he says, till they have seen or witnessed the kingdom of Elohiym come with power. They're going to see what it looks like to have the kingdom revealed. So Yahushua says before them, and all of a sudden, he becomes transfigured. He becomes this radiant, whiter than snow. So as no fuller's soap on earth can whiten. It's the glow. It's the glow. It's the glow. It's the glow. Listen. And then there appeared before him Elias and Moshe. So, the manifestation of the kingdom. Moshe appeared. Elias appeared. They seen him. And Peter answered and said unto Yahushua, Master, it's good for us to be here. Let us build 3 tabernacles. Let's build 3 tabernacles. I can imagine Yahushua speaking to Moshe and Elisha. Right, and I can imagine Yahushua's engaged in conversation with Moshe. Right, and Moshe is knowing that the Torah is in stone, is about to change. Not that the Torah changed, but this righteousness that is in Torah is not in Moshe. The greatest prophecy lies, whose word and his prophetic word prophetic word. Warranted Peter to say, let's build 3 tabernacles. Prophet Elias. Let's build 3 tabernacles. Right? And he said, for he was not what he said. Right? No. He was not what he said. Right? He didn't understand what he was saying. Right? He didn't understand what he was saying. Right? He says, and he wist not. That word wist in the Greek is
Strong's G 1492. Ido.
Which means to see, to perceive with the eyes. Right? He did not perceive what he saw. Right? To perceive by any of the senses. To know, to discern, right? He didn't discern, right, what he said. He didn't know what he was saying. Right? He said he knew not what he said. And they were so afraid. So let's build 3 tabernacles. Let's build three places to enter into worship. We'll go into yours. We'll go into Moshe's. We'll go. Right? But here's the conclusion of the matter, right? He says, and suddenly, when they had looked around about, let me go up. Verse 7, and there was a cloud that overshadowed them. So they witnessed Yahushua, Moshe, and Elias. And then they witnessed a cloud that overshadowed them, right? And a voice came out of the cloud. Excuse me. Saying, this is my beloved son. My salvation to you. Not the Torah written in stone, but the Torah made flesh. See. You got to come by the witness. Right? In the beginning was the Word. In the beginning was the Torah. In the beginning was the Torah. And the Torah was with Elohiym. And the Torah was Elohiym. The same was in the beginning with Elohiym. All things were made with the Torah. And without the Torah was not anything made that was made. Right? And the Torah was life. And the Torah was the light of men. Right? The light shined in darkness. But darkness comprehended it not. The light. The Torah light. The Torah light. Not the Torah of stone. Because they couldn't keep that. Because their hearts weren't right. The consciousness of sin prevented that. They didn't mix their emunah in the Torah. John 4:1-14. But the Torah, because the word is the Torah. Torah is the word. The word of Yahuwah is the Torah. Everything Yahuwah says is the Torah. It's not anything but a Torah. If Yahuwah said it, it's a Torah. If Yochanan said it, it is a result of him speaking what Yahuwah says or has concerning this description that is the Torah. He said, and the Torah was made flesh. We have Moshe as our father. He's given us the Torah. But they weren't even keeping Torah. They were keeping the Talmud. Whom say do men say that the Son of Man am? Some say that thou art John the Baptist, some say thou art Elias. One of the prophets. But whom say ye that I am? Thou art Yahushua Mashiach. You are the Son of the living Elohiym. You are the bearer of light. You are the Torah made flesh. And everyone in you is a bearer of the light. Everyone in you walks in light. Everyone in you demonstrates light. Everyone in you obeys the light. He says, and the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld its glory. See, we've seen the glory. We've seen the glory. Mark 9:3, and his raiment became shiny, exceeding white, the glory. As snow, and as the fuller of snow, as so as no fuller on earth, fuller soap, cleansing, cleaning unit, agent, can white. Take out those dirty clothes and put them on this raiment. See, it's not in the Torah made by stone. It's in the Torah made flesh. And the Torah made flesh was without sin, and a man of flesh. And that man was the son of Elohiym, who never sinned, who been by the way of water, ceremonial washing. Not because he needed to cleanse himself, but he had to do it in obedience. But he also was a priest. And the priest had to wash before they presented sacrifices unto you. But he only needed to go down once. He didn't even need to do that. The glory. The glory. The glory. Right? And the raiment became shining, exceedingly white, as a fuller as snow, so as no fuller on the earth can make. He says, and the Word was made flesh, and dwelt among us, and we beheld the glory of the only begotten of the Father. See, we witnessed the kingdom come. We've seen what that looked like. We've seen how that Ruach of Yahuwah transfigured from the inside out of Yahushua Mashiach. We beheld the excellency of the glory. Yahushua was a light on a hill. Yahushua was a light on the hill. And there appeared unto him Elias, Mark 9:4, and Moshe, and they were talking with Yahusha. Having a conversation with Yahusha Mashiach. Undoubtedly, glad to be before the presence of the Son of Elohiym, recognizing that what they did pointed to him. What they preached pointed to him. And Peter, he had a Ruach Qodesh. He did what your fathers would have done. We need to build 3 tabernacles, 3 separate places of worship. Just like your fathers. He was not what he said. They were so afraid. Terrified. They were just afraid. And there was a cloud that overshadowed them on the mountain. And the voice came out of the cloud saying, "This is my beloved Son." What? Not Moshe. But he gave the Torah, the commandments in stone. He gave us the commandments. Elias, the prophet, the mighty prophet of you, signs and wonders. Some say y'all are lies. What are the prophets? Let me make it clear to you. My son, the Torah made flesh. You need to hear him. Shaul says in 2 Corinthians, the 3rd verse, "For as much then as ye are manifestly declared to be the epistles of a Mashiach, written by us, written not in ink, but in the Ruach HaKodesh of Yahuwah." You got to be born again. See, because Moshe and the stone commandments, he ain't doing that no more. Because your fathers couldn't deal with that. He's not doing that no more. For if the first covenant, Hebrews 8 and 7, had been faultless, then there should be no place be sought for a second. So if the first one was Moshe that was been on point. Now, the Moshe was, and the Torah was, but the fault was in us because of sin consciousness. It's going to always be in us, right? It ain't going to never be nothing that Yahuwah presents. It's going to always be in us. So he found fault. Finding fault with them, he saith, "Behold, the days come, saith Yahuwah, when I will make a renewed covenant with the house of Yasharal and with the house of Yehuda," with the house of Yasharal and the house of Yehuda. "Not according to the covenants I made with their fathers in the days when I took them out of and led them by the hand." I ain't doing it like that. So you just can't be awakened and turn to Torah. You can't. It's not possible. Oh, we the people now, we understand who we are. We're going to turn to Torah. Not if you ain't in Mashiach, Yahushua. You got to be born again of the water and Ruach HaKodesh. You got to come by the way of Mashiach Yahushua. Excuse me. Not according to the covenant I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Mitzrayim. I ain't doing that no more. Because they continue not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith Yahuwah. They didn't keep my covenant. I took them out by the hand, and they still didn't keep the covenant. When I took them out of Mitzrayim, they were still sinners and wicked and idolaters. But I made a promise to Elohiym, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. I had to bring them back to the Torah. I had to put my stamp on them. I had to write the Torah down for them in stone. I had to give them that. I had to present on the mountain for them. They had to know me as Yahweh. Yahuwah Dabao. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Yasharah after those days during our time. Saith Yahuwah, those days at Yahushua Mashiach. I will put my Torah within their minds and write them on their hearts. He has to put his Ruach in you in order to do that. He has to put his Ruach in you. He says here, right? For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Yasharah after those days, saith Yahuwah, I will put my Torah within their minds and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them an Eloah, and they shall be my people. Second Corinthians 3:3. And for as much as you were manifestly declared to be the epistles of Mashiach, ministered by us, written not in ink, right? Not with letters, right? Not with commendations, right? But with the Ruach HaKodesh of Elohiym. Not in tables of stone, but in the fleshly tablets of the heart. And such trust we have towards the Mashiach, to Elohiym words, that we are sufficient of ourselves to think anything of ourselves, but our sufficiency is of Elohiym. So we ain't puffed up in how we view ourselves. We know that we were just the agents of what Yahuwah has put in us to do for you. We don't look at ourselves as highly or more highly than anybody else. He says, who also hath made us ministers of the renewed covenant. Not of the letter. Not because we have been approved by a group of apostles, or not because we've been approved by a Sanhedrin or the Universal Church of Jerusalem. But of the Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh. For the letter killeth, but the Ruach HaKodesh gives life. See, now, you know, they mess with you with this. Because the Ruach HaKodesh is what gives you life. With this small spirit thing. You got to understand what Yahuwah is saying. You got to understand what Yahuwah is saying through Shaul. He says the sufficiency is in Yahuwah, is Ruach HaKodesh, because he's already said with the Ruach of the living Yahuwah, right? So if it's with the Ruach of a living Yahuwah, he's the minister, right, of the Ruach HaKodesh of Yahuwah. Yahuwah has to take the reins of his lips and the reins of his tongue. He has to go forth in the Ruach HaKodesh, bearing the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. The Ruach HaKodesh gives life. The letter ain't gonna give life. The Torah of itself, written in stone, could not give life because we were flawed. You were flawed. I was flawed. We couldn't be light bearers. We couldn't be light bearers. We bear the light for a little while and then, we'd stay under that atonement, but then, it got to the point where, we made atonements and we just kept doing the wickedness. Yahuwah says, I ain't got no pleasure in that. Isaiah, the first chapter, I ain't got no pleasure in that. Isaiah 1 and 2. Hear ye, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for Yahuwah have spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. They rebelled against Torah, right? They've had the Torah, but they had the consciousness of sin in their hearts. They had the Torah, right? An ox knoweth her owner, and an ass her master's crib, but Yasharah doeth not know, my people do not consider. Stiff-necked and rebellious people. You just can't turn to the Torah without an atonement. You can't just turn to the Torah without a sacrifice. You are stiff-necked and knucklehead. You can't do it. You have to come through Yahushua Mashiach. You have to come through the high priest that is a high priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. You can't not repent and turn to Torah without a Mashiach. You don't know your master's crib. You don't even consider, right? A sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupt. How you going to turn to you, Torah, and not make an atonement? How are you going to effectively change the condition of your heart without Hamashiach's witness? How are you going to have the power to witness? A sinful nation, a nation that a nation that violates Torah constantly, a people weighed down in hidden sin, iniquity, a seed of evil doers, children that are corrupt. They have forsaken Elohiym. They have provoked the Holy One of Yasharah. Unto anger. They have gone away backwards. Right? Why should ye be stricken anymore? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick. The whole heart is faint. See, knowing you Hebrew ain't going to change your condition. Turning to Torah without a sacrifice is not possible. Your condition is going to remain the same in Torah without a sacrifice, without a high priest, without for him having a place to take that sacrifice. You can't offer a sacrifice on your behalf. You cannot offer a sacrifice on your behalf because it is reserved only for those who Yahuwah has designated to offer innocent blood. And that was the high priest. But you know what? That faded away. That decayed. That's why Yahuwah had to do it different. That's why the high priesthood and the offering of the sacrifices is no more. Because Yahushua Mashiach was that sacrifice. Yahushua Mashiach was that sacrifice. He says here, from the soles of the foot even unto the head, no soundness in it. Wounds and bruises and putrefying sores. They have been closed. They have not been closed. Now they're bound up, neither mollified with ointments. So here's a people, right, that are so foul, right, and so infected, right, they have putrefying sores. They had the Torah. They had the Ten Commandments. They had the priest. But yet they were putrefied. That's why he had to have a different order. It says here, it was so putrefied that there's no ointment to put in it. He said, your country is desolate, your cities is burned with fire, your land, strangers devour it in your presence, and it is desolate and is overthrown by strangers. And the daughters of Zion are left as a cottage in a vineyard, enlarged, and a garden of cucumbers as a besieged city, except Yahuwah of hosts had left us a very small remnant. See, Yahuwah ain't interested in your wanting to keep Torah apart from the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. See, because, just because you recognize you the people doesn't change your condition. Just because you make a conscious decision to turn back to Torah, you still putrid. You're still putrid. Except Yahuwah of hosts had left a small remnant, we should have been as Sodom. Lot, his two daughters, a remnant. See, listen, this is a witness, this witness is made for a remnant. He says, hear the word of Yahuwah, ye rulers of Sodom, Hebrews, wicked brews. Give ear to Yahuwah Lua, ye people of Gomorrah, wicked brews. To what purpose is the multitudes of your sacrifices unto me? You're putrid still. Your priests can't offer a sacrifice because they're putrid. You continue this pattern of offering sacrifices as if I'm appeased, but you're wicked. Right? I I am full of the burnt offering of rams and the fat of fed beasts. I delight not in the blood of bullocks, of lambs, and of goats, because you know what? You're wicked. You don't even offer the best. But then even if you did, you have no intentions on changing. Some of y'all Bruce just want to be the way you were as Bruce. You want to still talk like you used to talk and say you keep Torah. You want to live like you used to live, but you say you keep Torah. Yeah, you know, you say you keep the commandments. But if you violate one, you violate it all, so, you know, you gonna violate them. But even when you do, you can't make an atonement. Because your priests who have the responsibility of offering innocent blood ain't in a position to do so. And when you come to appear before me, whoever required this at your hands? Right? Who's giving y'all some of the responsibility? Who gave you the right to offer innocent blood? Whoever acquired this at your hands to tread my courts? Who has given you the right to go into the courts of Yahuwah to offer a sacrifice? Hear ye the word of Yahuwah. He says, as such trust we have in Mashiach to allure you, that our sufficiency is not of ourselves to think anything of ourselves, but our sufficiency is in Yahuwah. Right? Who, this is Corinthians, the 2 Corinthians, the third chapter, 6th verse. Who also have made us able ministers of the renewed covenant, not of the letter. Not of the letter. Not of the letter, but of the Ruach HaKodesh. Listen, it can't be your natural spirit because your spirit was dead, right? And the spirit that Yahuwah gives you that gives you life is in the Ruach of the Qodesh of Yahuwah. For not of the letter killeth, but the Ruach HaKodesh gives life. You have he quickened who were dead in your trespasses and sins. Where in times past you walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the Ruach, and now working in the children of disobedience. Ezekiel 36 and 27. I will put my Ruach HaKodesh within you and cause you to walk in my statutes and keep them and do my judgments. I'm going to do that. I am going to give you a new heart. I am going to give you a new Ruach. I'm going to put within you and take away the stony heart out of your flesh and give you a new heart of flesh. I'm going to do it. But the manifestation, the ministration of death, written and engraved in stones, was glorious. Yeah, it was. Right? Right? The ministration of death. Why? Because when you violated, the wages was death. It was not that the commandments was wicked or was not good. It served its purpose. Graven in stone was glorious, so that the children of Israel could not steadfastly look upon the face of Moshe for the glory of the countenance, which glory was done away with. See that? The glory of Yahuwah on Moshe was on Moshe, and it faded away. It wasn't in Moshe like it was in Yahushua Mashiach. When Moshe was transfigured with Elias on the mountain, it's because he came from glory. Elias came from glory. Yahushua was on the eretz and manifested the glory from the inside out. Because he was full with the fullness of the glory of you. Moshe's glory faded away, much like the priesthood faded away. Levi is still Levi, but the right to offer sacrifices has faded away. The right to shed blood has faded away, innocent blood, because you ain't got nobody capable of doing it, right, righteously, according to Torah. That Yahuwah has chosen and established his tabernacle on which they would go into a meet with him. Why do you think Peter said, let's make 3 tabernacles? Because they had to be a place that was designated to bring in offerings and to bring in offerings unto. You want to talk about building 3 houses? You talk about building 3 tabernacles. What did Yahushua say? It's my beloved son, hear ye him. The glory, the glory, the glory. See, this light that comes is a result of the righteousness of you. This light comes as a result of the righteousness of Yahuwah's Ruach on the inside of you. See, when we changed, we're going to be changed from the inside out. That's the glory of Yahuwah, the Ruach of Yahuwah on the inside of us. It's going to radiate us into a new being. Right now we have the righteous spark of measure. That still commands the respect of demons and devils. Because in us they see that we have the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. We have the seal of the Ruach Qodesh. That's why no weapon turned against you prosper. That's why you have keys to the kingdom. That's why you have keys to the kingdom. YOCHANON and you, Peter, James, and John witnessed the kingdom. They seen what it looked like. They witnessed the excellency of the glory. And that was glory. For behold, Moshe, right? For behold the face of Moshe for the glory. They couldn't look on the face of Moshe for the glory of his countenance. The glory which was to be done away with, which means that it would fade away. Moshe didn't walk around with that glory for a while, continuously. After a while, it faded away. Priesthood fade away. The high priest's office faded away. You ain't doing it like that no more. You got to be born again to be the light. You got to be born again to be the bearer of the light. be done with. How shall the administration of the Ruach HaKodesh be more glorious? See, not they mess with you. Right? Because they say the ministration of the Spirit, but that Spirit is the Ruach HaKodesh. Right? That Ruach, that Spirit is the Ruach HaKodesh. Right? It's the same strong letter, G4151. Same Strong's letter. The ministration of the Ruach be rather glorious. For if the ministration of the condemnation was glorious, meaning that it produced a glory, it produced a light, it shined, but it was spectacular. It was YOCHANON. It was an evident token of having been in the presence of you. Right? Which shone. This light. This glory. This exousia. This dunamos. This keys to the kingdom. This kingdom. Glorious. This treasure. Vessels. It's glory. The Ruach HaKodesh. And the remnant. You ain't dragging nobody to no place. And he ain't weeding nobody out. Hear ye the word of Yahuwah. You must be born again of the water and of the Ruach HaKodesh. There is no being taken by the hand and letting into the wilderness. Yahuwah ain't weeding out nobody. The Ruach HaKodesh, the receiving of the witness, is the process of the weeding. Let the weed and the tear grow together. Because Yahuwah is going to call or speak to those that are his. Excuse me. Yahuwah is going to have a word for those that are his. They are going to hear his voice. My sheep hear my voice, and another they will not follow. For if the ministration of condemnation be glorious, much more does the ministration of righteousness exceed in glory. Moshe was glorious so that people couldn't even look on his face, but it faded away. But the Ruach HaKodesh of Yahuwah that has been given to us is glorious. It's more glory. It exceeds in glory. It's a treasure. It comes with exceeding power. It comes with exceedingly great power. Exceedingly great power. Exceedingly great power. Right? Exceedingly great power. He says, verse 19 of Ephesians 1. And what is the exceeding greatness of his power to usward who believe, or to usward who have received the testimony, the Besorah of truth, who have been born again of the water and of the Ruach HaKodesh, and has believed Yahuwah for the baptism of the Ruach HaKodesh. They veiled themselves of the blood that was atoned for their sins. They had faith in Mashiach's witness. See, these people have received exceeding great power. The ministration exceeding in glory. Exceeding power to us word who believe, who have imunah. Imunah in the witness. Imunah in the word. Imunah in the Torah and the Basor of truth, right? Who believe according to the working of his Yahuwah's mighty power. He's given it to us who believe. Right? Who believe what? Believe the witness. Who believe, like Yusha said, in order to see the kingdom, you got to be born again. In order to enter into the kingdom, you got to be born of the water and the Ruach Qodesh. You've believed it. You've demonstrated your imunah in it by being washed, by accepting the atoning blood, and then receiving the gift of the Ruach Qodesh. He says, mighty power, which he wrought, he demonstrated it, he worked it, he brought it to pass, he brought it to bear. He made it possible when he raised Mashiach from the dead by the Ruach HaKodesh. And then he set him on his right hand, right? In the Shamayim, right? Far above all principalities, rulerships, governing authorities, dominions. And every name that is named, not only in this world, but that which is to come. His name. Not only in this world, but once he creates a new heaven and a new earth, and that world as well. Because only the remnant that has entered into the kingdom are going to get to live in eternal existence in this new world. Under the dominion of Yahuwah's kingdom. Yahuwah's kingdom. And having put all things under his feet. See, everything is under the feet of Yah. Salvation. Right? And he has gave him to be the head over everything to the assemblies. Yahusha. Yah salvation. The ministration. For if the ministration of condemnation, 2 Corinthians 3:9, be glorious, much more doeth the ministration of righteousness exceed in glory. Yahuwah has put it in you, right? Right? For even that which was made glorious, Torah, right, had no glory in this respect by reason of the glory that excelleth. The Torah was Yahuwah's word spoken, right? But Yahusha was the word made flesh. He brought the Ruach to life in human flesh. Exceeded in glory. For even that which was made glorious, even in Moshe. This is my beloved son. Hear ye him. Moshe's giving of the Torah was glorious. He shone with the glory of Yahuwah, but it faded away. And much like the priesthood, it faded away. It became decayed. It was flawed. For even that which is made glorious had no glory in this respect, by reason of the glory that excelleth, the Son of Yahusha, the Torah made flesh. For if that which is done away, which way was glorious, much more that which remaineth is glorious. See, we are glorious. We who have received the witness, because we have this treasure. We have been given his Ruach Qodesh. He is put in his glory. We shine. We are lights. We are lights because we're a reflection of him. We are lights because we do as he did in the Eretz. We have signs that follow us. We're sons and daughters of the living Yahuwah. We have an excellency of glory. For if that which is done away was glorious, much more that which remaineth is glorious, right? Is glorious. He said, seeing then that we have such hope, we use great plainness of speech. See, we have a hope. We know this. So we speak plainly. And not as Moshe put a veil over his face, that the children of Yasharal could not steadfastly look to the end of which is abolished. See, we don't have to hide. We don't have to cover. We don't have to conceal. Right? We have this treasure in earthen vessels. It's in us. Right? It's going to come from us. Right? But here's the deal. We ain't got to hide it from anybody. We need to be that light that shines in darkness. We need to be that light that represents Mashiach. He says, to steadfastly look to the end of that which is abolished. Who ain't doing like he did before. Flee Babylon. That word abolished is
Strong's G 2673 katargeo.
Katageo.
Katargeo.
Katageo. It means to render idle, unemployed, inactive, inoperative, to cause a person or things to have no further efficiency. See, the efficiency is in Torah. The deficiency is in us. Torah was righteous, but the priests were flawed, like priests, like people. That's why it's abolished. That's why it's deprived of its force. Yahuwah deprived it of its force, and he passed it on to Yahusha. who he has sworn and will not repent. Right? He is that high priest forever. That's 82. Psalms 82 or 83. One, I think it is. No, it's not 82. Must be Psalms 83. No, that's this one. No, let me see. No, it's a priest, right? Oh, man. Psalms. Psalm 73. No. Let's do this. Anyway, scripture says he is sworn and will not repent. He's a high priest forever. Yahushua Mashiach with the order of Melchizedek. That's what it says. I can't remember where it is though. But praise the Most High Yahuwah, Alua, because his word is true and it's in there, right? So let's go back to this and let's try to finish this out, right? So we understand that we are the bearers of the light. And as bearers of the light, we have a responsibility, right, to operate in what he has given us in the light. It is to be his representatives in the arets by demonstration. You should receive power. After that, the Ruach Qodesh comes upon. And you should be my witnesses. Yahushua declared. The objective is to be born again of the water and the Ruach Qodesh and to be the witnesses. To be the lights. To be that man and that woman of Yahuwah. Gathering the remnant. Understanding that there's preparation necessary. Getting the remnant prepared to leave. In the meantime, preaching this witness. Snatching some from the very fire. Preaching this witness so that they can be light bearers. so that they be born again, so that they can be light bearers. Second Corinthians, the 4th chapter. The 16th verse. He says, for which cause we faint not. But though our outward man perish, our inner man, by the Ruach Qodesh of Yahuwah, is renewed day by day. Why? Because we are moving into eternal life. We are renewed on the inside by Yahuwah's Ruach. For our light afflictions, which is for a moment, worketh for us in a more exceeding eternal weight and glory. We stand to benefit from this light. Right? There's a verse that I'm looking for in here. Verse 4, that's verse 5. He says in that 2nd chapter, 4th chapter, that 4th chapter, 5th verse. For we preach not ourselves, but Mashiach Adonai. Ourselves, the servants of Yahushua Mashiach. For Elohiym commanded the light to shine out of darkness. Yahushua Mashiach is that bearer of light. Yahushua was the light of the world. There was no light in the world until Yahushua came. The light of righteousness was in the world because of Yahushua. Right? He says, for Elohiym, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, have shined in our hearts. How he does this? He does this by the Ruach Qodesh. He does this by the process of being born again, of the water, the blood, and the Ruach Qodesh. For Elohiym hath commanded the light to shine out of darkness, and have shined in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the glory. The night of the glory, the knowledge of the glory of Elohiym in the face of Yahushua Mashiach. Man, listen here. Man, if y'all want me to understand this light is glorious. This witness is glorious. This witness is everything. Right? And we have this treasure, the Ruach Qodesh. This shines, this light in our hearts. This is the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. This is having the witness, the Ruach Qodesh, the water and the blood in us. Right? We shine. This is a treasure. This is a treasure. We have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of Elohiym, not us. Everything that we are, even down to the renewing of who we are on the inside, is all about Yahuwah. and his Ruach Qodesh in us. He's the reason for the light. Without him, there is no light. Yahushua came into the world, and he was the light of the world. In you, without Yahushua Mashiach's witness, there is no light. There is darkness. Yeah, you know who you are. Yeah, you turn the Torah, but if you haven't come by the way of Yahushua Mashiach's atonement, you have no way to turn. You're still in darkness. Man of y'all, woman of y'all, listen. We gonna stop here. Make no mistake about it, you're still in darkness. You're still in darkness. Yahushua is that light. That light ain't for everybody. Only you who receive the witness, make up the remnant, are bearers of the light. Bearers of the light. Only those who make up the witness are bearers of the light. You must be born again of the water and of the Ruach. Otherwise, you're not his. Abba Yahuwah, I thank you for the words you've given me to give to them. I pray in the name of Yahushua Mashiach that your word has gone forth, and knowing in Nimunah that you said it will not return unto you void. I pray, Yahuwah, that your word will reach every ear that you have chosen for this your word to reach, and that it will bring life to them. It will give them peace. It will give them understanding. Yahuwah, I am in this for the kingdom. I'm in this for the witness. I'm in this for signs following. I pray that your people would receive your word. In the name of Yahushua Mashiach, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. You, my strength and my redeemer. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, called to greatness, woman of Yahuwah, beautifully and wonderfully made. Today you has favored you. Listen. This light ain't for everybody. And everybody ain't in this light. Only those that are in this witness. But you know who they are. Because you have the Ruach. If they have the Ruach, you agree. You kindred. Walk in the light as he is in the light. Be bearers of the light. Be the witnesses that Yahushua has called you to be. The light of the world. That requires you to open your mouth. That all requires you to use your hands. Lay hands on the sick or something. Cast out a devils. Speak with new tongues. Take up serpents. See diddy thing I have to harm you. Signs. Demonstrate the love of Yahushua. With that I say, man of Yah, woman of Yah, shalom, shalom, shalom. Hear the word of Yahuwah and be blessed.
Torah Garden, speaking the absolute truth. Torah.